Greetings, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with Eritrea. Of course, this is not, as a 46-year-old woman from Mississippi in the United States that currently lives in the West, it doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense for me to be so interested and moved by this small country, but I've been talking about them for some time now and completely intuitively. So, in my desire to learn more about this place that I've never been, I started to do and dig more and more into this nation. Family, I came across a lecture by His Excellency Ambassador Araya Desta. I pray that I said that right. Don't hold it against me if I mispronounce it, please. This is a kind of a lengthy lecture that he did with what's known as the FDU Global Education. It's really is seated in like this collegiate setting, yes? And there were different types of officials there that you can tell came from different pretty powerful institutions and groups and committees to question him. He did a lecture, he did a presentation, it had slides and all kinds of stuff, and it was kind of lengthy. Family, this is from November 2006, from November 8th to be exact. November 8th, 2006. So don't ask me why, but I'm kind of nerdy on this kind of stuff, and I am just kind of obsessed with it. I came across, it's an 8-part series. He makes a statement in one of the 8 segments that I watched that I found extraordinarily fascinating, and it certainly put even more for me in context some of the issues and the plight that the Eritrean people have had to stand against white supremacist imperialism. He gives us a good clue. Watch this clip.
Eritrea's right of independence and the U.S. interests. I hope you will not be offended if I say bad things about the American, what the Americans have done to Eritrea. Now, the first thing is, at that time, the Americans were fighting in Vietnam, and they were looking for a space which is ideal for communication. And the ideal place was Eritrea. And that is one of the reasons why we were denied our independence, like Libya and Somalia. So the Americans decided to have a communication base in Asmara, the capital city, and therefore it is because of the Americans that we didn't get our independence. And they have officially said it in the United Nations. U.S. Secretary of State John Foster Dulles at that time put his words concisely in 1952 as follows: from the point of view of justice, the options of the Eritrean people must receive consideration. Nevertheless, the strategic interests of the United States in the Red Sea basin and considerations of the security and world peace make it necessary that the country has to be linked with our ally, Ethiopia.
Wow, family, did you hear that? Did you hear him quote former Secretary of State of the United States, John Foster Dulles at that time? John Foster Dulles was a former, as I said, Secretary of State. Family, he served under President Dwight Eisenhower, family, from 1953 until his resignation in 1959. Did you hear our dear brother, Mr. Desta, tell us, beloved, that the United States of America, around the same time, allowed Libya, for example, and Somalia to receive their freedom, their own sovereignty, but Eritrea didn't, because the United States of America wanted to use and did use their land for a communications base to spy on Vietnam? What? I can assure you there's a lot of stuff in history that I don't remember in school. I promise you they didn't teach me that. Now that's deep. Now, in the context of all this propaganda that they put out against our beloved family in this beautiful and very strategic country, how many of us knew that? I have to say, of this pretty lengthy lecture and his answering question, I found him extraordinarily fascinating. I looked a little bit into his life. And if this piece from the Washington Diplomat is correct, of course, this is from many years ago. This article is from 2010. Now, this is a different article now that I'm reading from. It was given a little bit of background on who he is. And it says that he has 13 years. Of course, may he rest in peace. He's passed away now, of course, former Ambassador Desta. But at the time that this was written, it says that he was appointed ambassador to the United Nations in December of 2005. It said he has some 13 years of experience in foreign affairs, 11 years of relief work with his country's ambassador to the Nordic countries, with a resident in Stockholm, Sweden. And from 2002 until his appointment, it said prior to that, for several years, he was Minister of Council of Eritrea's embassy in Beijing, China. It says from 93 to 94, he served as first secretary and consul at the Consulate of Eritrea in Canada. 82 to 91. He served on the board of Eritrean Relief Association in Sudan from 82 to 93. He was executive director and chair of the Eritrean Relief Association Canada Board of Directors in Ottawa. It talks about the fact that he was a computer programmer with the petroleum company in Calgary from 80 to 82. It goes on to talk about from 72 to 1976, he was the head of the meteorological application section of Ethiopian Meteorological Services in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And from 63 to 72, he served as the weather forecaster for the Civil Aviation Administration and Asmara, which I believe is the capital of Eritrea. It goes on to say he got his diploma in weather forecasting from Stanmore Meteorological Training Center in London in 69, a BS degree in mathematics at the University of Nairobi, Kenya in 1980, an MA in atmospheric physics at the University of Toronto, Canada in 85. I got to tell you, he's married with 5 children. May he rest in peace. This man is beyond. You hear me? So I was stunned, and I was obsessed. And I could not stop watching every episode of this lecture that he gave in 2006. Y'all, that's almost 20 years ago. Not quite, but almost. Yes. Thank you for this education. I'm a little child. I know I'm a novice at this, but I'm eating it up and I'm so fascinated. And I've got to say, it makes so much sense. And it gives me an even greater respect, among many, many other things, as to why I respect the nation and the country. May he rest in peace. Salute to our glorious brother, former Ambassador Desta. Yes, my name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Be sure to give us a big thumbs up. Be sure to comment below. Be sure to check out my website and my school at VickiPlanet.com, my spiritual school. It doesn't matter what your religion or spiritual background is. My principles, I teach us universal principles. It'll shape your life, give you major breakthrough in every area of your life. VickiPlanet.com. Be sure to share the